to our messy church at Christmas. It's great that you can join us online for all of the fun we've got planned today. We've got Christmas crafts and songs and stories, so we hope that you'll enjoy what's on offer. For our crafts in Messy Church, at points you might need to go and gather some things together so that you can make what we're showing. So feel free to pause the video at any point and go off and collect those things. Also, if you want to come back and do some crafts you didn't manage to complete the first time, you'll find that they're all bookmarked, so you can follow them in the timeline down below and find the ones you haven't done easily. We've got lots planned, so we're going to start by singing a song, and I'm sure it's a nice Christmas one that you all know. And then we'll join back together here after that.
Let's jump with joy, for that little boy is going to be the saviour of the whole wide world. Let's jump with joy, for that little boy is going to be the saviour of the whole wide world. Jumping, 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 jumping with joy for the Christmas boy. Jumping, 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 jumping with joy for the Christmas boy. Let's walk the road with Mary's heavy load. She's going to have her baby in Bethlehem. Let's walk the road with Mary's heavy load. She's going to have her baby in Bethlehem. Walking, 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 walking the road with Mary's heavy load. Walking, 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 walking the road with Mary's heavy load. Let's wave our arms with the shepherds from the farms on the hills where the angels sang to them. Let's wave our arms with the shepherds from the farms on the hills where the angels sang to them. Waving, 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 waving our arms with the shepherds from the farms. Waving, 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 waving our arms with the shepherds from the farms. Let's bow right down, 'cause the wise men have found the baby who will be the king of everyone. Let's bow right down, 'cause the wise men have found the baby who will be the king of everyone. Bowing, 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 bowing right down to the king they have found. Bowing, 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 bowing right down to the king they have found. Jumping, jumping, walking, walking, waving, waving, bow right down.
So do you remember I told you that there were 4 books that told about Jesus' time here on earth? The Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. Now each of them tell the story of Jesus in a bit of a different way. Mark starts by telling about John the Baptist, who was Jesus' cousin, as an adult, coming and telling everyone about Jesus. Luke goes back a bit earlier. He tells about John the Baptist's birth and starts from there, before Jesus was born. Matthew, he tries to go back further still. He talks about Jesus' family tree, all of the generations that came before Jesus. But John tries to beat them all, because he starts the story right back at the beginning of creation. And he says this. He says, in the beginning, the Word already existed. Now the Word is Jesus. That's who he's talking about. And he says that the Word, Jesus, was with God. And the Word was God. So Jesus was God. And from the very beginning of time, the Word was there with God. And through him, through Jesus, God made all things. There wasn't one thing in creation that was made without Jesus. Jesus, John says, was the source of all life. And this life brought light to people. John says that the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has never and can never put it out. So the darkness can never put out the light of Jesus. We can rely on Jesus to shine his light into the dark places of the world. Then God sent his messenger named John, that's John the Baptist, and he came and told people about Jesus, about the light, so that all could hear about Jesus and believe that he was sent from God. John says that Jesus was the real light, the light that comes into the world and shines on all people. So Jesus shines a light into the dark places of the world, onto us, onto everyone. Jesus came into the world and through God made the world in him. But the world people didn't recognise him. They didn't recognise that Jesus was sent by God. He came to his own country, but the people there didn't welcome him. However, there were some who did receive Jesus. They recognised that he was sent from God and they believed in him. And so he allowed them to become God's children. Not like our real mum and dad's children. We weren't born from God, but we can still call God our Father. So that is how John explains Jesus coming into our world and how he's a light to each and every one of us. He said that Jesus became a human being and he was full of grace and truth and he lived among us. And we were able to see God's glory that Jesus showed through his actions. So we've got lots of other crafts today that are going to help explain a bit more of that story. We're going to look at ones that show us the glory of God, others that make us think about how Jesus wasn't recognised. So we've got lots of fun. So let's drop into one of our crafts now and have a bit of fun together doing that.
Hello, today we're talking about the glory of God and we're going to do some lovely marble painting to demonstrate that. So first of all, you'll need to get several sheets of paper, some scissors, either an empty box or a baking tray, some paint and some marbles, and also either some glue or sticky tack just to stick your paper together. So when you have cut out your template of the star, you can stick your main piece of paper into the box and then with your star you'll want to just put a little bit of glue or sticky tack to stop it moving around when it's on top of the other sheet of paper. So there we have our star stuck on top of the blank piece of paper. Then we're going to put a few squirts of paint onto it. And going to tip in your marbles. And roll your box or tray around side to side, up and down, getting those marbles to roll through the paint and spread those beautiful colours all around. Empty out your marbles into a container and you can pull out your picture and then peel off your star, leaving this lovely template behind where we can see our star with God's glory shining out all around. Just to make it extra Christmassy and sparkly, I'm going to put some glitter over the top, which will really make it shine. There we are. There we have it. Beautiful picture of a star with God's glory shining out all around. Now what I've done with my other one is I stuck it on a piece of paper, and I thought I would put a calendar on the bottom to remind us that God's love doesn't just shine out at Christmas, it shines out the whole year round. I hope you enjoy doing it.
Hi there. I'm just typing out a Christmas message on one of our social media channels for the church. You've probably heard of lots of different social media channels like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. I'm typing something out on Twitter today. Twitter's a bit different because it only lets you have 280 letters or characters, because that 280 even includes spaces. I wonder, if you had to try and tell someone about the Christmas story, but you could only use 280 characters, what would you say? How would you describe what happened? Tell you what, that could be a good fun challenge for us to try together. Let's think of a way we can do that now. So for this challenge, all you need is a piece of paper and a pen. But if you want to make it a bit more interesting, you could choose a different colour paper perhaps, or use some pens or crayons to colour it in. So then it's up to you as to how you lay out your Christmas message. Maybe you might choose to draw a big thought bubble or a speech bubble to put it in. In fact, you could create a poster which contains your Christmas story. But remember, you've only got 240 characters to use. That's not much. So what might we include in our Christmas story? Well, maybe the most important part of the Christmas story for you is the wise men coming. Or perhaps it's the story of the shepherd's arrival. Maybe it's where Jesus is born in a stable. I might include something which tells people about how Mary was chosen to give birth to Jesus. It says in the Bible that a virgin will become pregnant and have a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, and that means God is with us. That's definitely less than 240 words, so maybe I can include a bit more. I'd be interested to know what you add into your Christmas story. Kate's got another craft for us. I wonder what her favourite part of the Christmas story is. Let's go across to her now and see if she can share.
Hi, my name's Kate. Anton asked me to do some craft for the All Messy Church today, so I was thinking, what's important to me about Christmas? Well, there's lots of things, but when I was thinking of something to make, I looked through my box of Christmas decorations and I found lots and lots of stars. So I thought, well, obviously stars are important to me. Now, where does the star come in the Christmas story? If you look in the book of Matthew, it tells you that 3 wise men followed a star. They saw the star in the sky and knew that it meant that a king had been born. So they followed it, and they followed it, and they followed it, and then they followed it some more. And eventually it brought them to the baby Jesus. So I thought today we'd make a star. Now, what do you need to make a star? Well, I've got a cereal box and a ruler, some cooking tin foil, a pair of scissors. Now, if you've only got grown-up scissors like mine, make sure an adult helps you, or you might have your own scissors. We need a piece of string, a plate or a saucer, a hole punch if you've got one, and a pen. Now, you can also use glitter and a glue stick if you've got one, but don't worry if you haven't, it just makes it a bit more sparkly. So I will now start and show you how we're going to make our Christmas star.
Okay.
Now to start with, you put your plate on your cereal box, making sure you don't go on any of the bendy bits, otherwise you'll have a bendy star. And you just draw around it with a pen. Then comes the magic bit, how to make a star. So you get a piece of string and you put it from top to bottom, and that's the length of your piece of string. Right. Make a mark at anywhere on the circle. Fold your string in half and put your pen in the loop. And just draw a little arc and then move it round and draw a little arc. Keep on doing that until you've gone all the way around, and you should have 6 little arcs. Doesn't matter if you draw on it, because it's all going to get covered up. And that's then you take your ruler and you draw from one arc, you miss one and you go to the next one. Draw a line and again miss one and go to the next one and draw another line, and this will make you a triangle. And when you've got one triangle, then you do the same with the other triangle. And that makes you a 6-pointed stars. Now stars can be lots of different numbers of points, but I find this the easy one to draw. And there we have a 6-pointed star. And this is where the scissors come in. Just roughly cut across the bottom. And I find the easiest way to cut a star is to cut from the outside to the middle. And then again from the outside to the middle. Continue doing that until you've got your star shape. Now, depending on the size of your plate or your saucer, it depends on how big your star is. So you can choose to do a great big dinner plate star, or a tiny saucer star, or a whole galaxy of stars. So there's our star shape, and all the rest of the cardboard is put in the recycling. Now, how do we make it nice and shiny? We get some tin foil. Again, if it's got a serrated edge, get an adult to help you. Tear off some tin foil. Fold it so the shiny side is on the inside. And fold it in half. Then get your star and a marker pen and draw outside the star. Now you need to give a good margin, but don't worry, it doesn't have to be exact. You can draw this freehand. Just bigger than your cardboard star. There we are. Scissors again, so help if you need it. Now it doesn't have to be too exact, so don't worry if you go, you're better off going a bit outside the lines than inside the lines. So just snip, snip. There we are. Again, just scrunch up your leftovers and pop them in the recycling. So we have two. If we open them up, we have 2 shiny stars. Yeah. Turn one over. Turn, well, it doesn't matter which way up your star goes. So if you do it like that, then just fold over on all the points. Pick it up carefully and just snip into the corners. Try not to cut the cardboard, but it's not the end of the world if you do. And when you've got it like that, all you do is fold it over. Now if you've got a glue stick, you can glue stick them down, but I haven't got one today, and I don't think it really matters. Nearly done. Then you take your other star and you do the same again. So, over on all the points. And snip or tear into the corners. One. Fold it over. As I say, if you've got a bit of glue, PVA glue or a glue stick, it'll stay firmer. Now if you want to hang your star, it's useful to have a hole punch. If you've got a hole punch at home, just put your star in there and make a hole. There we have a hole, and I've got some ribbon. So I want to hang mine up, so I'm going to thread the ribbon through. And there we have our Christmas star. Now, if you want to put it on the top of your Christmas tree, you can put some string on the back, glue some string on the back, or you can hang it in your window. Or if you want to make it a little more sparkly, just put some glue around the outsides and sprinkle some glitter on. And there we are, your Christmas star. And as you can see, I've got lots of stars that go on my Christmas tree. And now I've got 2 extra ones that I've made today. Hope you have fun making your stars.
Hush, shh, there's a baby who in the manger. Hush, shh, baby Jesus who there's a danger that will wake this sleepy boy. He's such good news, we jump with joy. We want to sing with the angels, heavenly sound. Shout with the shepherds, tell what we found. Worship with the wise men, bow right down. Jesus is born and he's such good news. We want to sing with the angels, heavenly sound. Shout with the shepherds, tell what we found. Worship with the wise men, bow right down. Jesus is born and he's such good news. We want to hush. There's a baby in the manger. Hush, baby Jesus who there's a danger that will wake this sleepy boy. He's such good news, we jump with joy. We want to sing with the angels, heavenly sound. we found. Worship with the wise men, bow right down. Jesus is born and he's such good news. We want to sing with the angels, heavenly sound. Shout with the shepherds, tell what we found. Worship with the wise men, bow right down. Jesus is born and he's such good news. We want to shout and sing and worship the King. We want to shout and sing and worship the King. We want to shout and sing and worship the King. Jesus is born and he's such good news. We want to shout and sing and worship the King. Shout and sing and worship the King. Shout and sing and worship the King. Jesus is born and he's such good news. We want to shh.
Right, I've got a great craft for you. I really like this craft because it's quite simple. A bit like me, maybe. So this is really straightforward. All you need is a copy of the template of the world, which you'll find in the description below. You can download it and print it out. If you haven't got a printer, you could just sketch one up. Have a look online or find it in a book and you could sketch out an outline drawing of the world. So that's the first thing you need. The next thing you need is a piece of card. Black card is the best. If you've got it, that's great, but it doesn't have to be. And then we need some paper clips. Okay, just a couple of those. And finally, and you need to ask your parents' permission, especially if you're younger, we're going to need a pin to use. And there is one last thing you might need, which is we're going to be pushing the pin through the card. So you don't want to do that into your parents' kitchen worktops or tables. So you might need something to put beneath the card. I've got a chopping board here, which is perfect. So I'm going to put that on the table and then I'm placing the black card on top, the template of the world over that, and then I want to use the paper clips to just hold them together so they don't move. So one at the top on that side and one at the bottom. You can see that, so we've got two paper clips on either side. And then all we're going to do is we're going to get our pin and we're going to use it to push in around the outline of the world. And this creates a really great effect because what we're making here is a window hanging. It's a bit like, I suppose, the reverse of a sun catcher. I don't know if you've ever made a sun catcher in the window where all of the light from the sun shines all the way through it. This we put in our window and it's a really nice winter decoration because what happens is the light from our houses shines out through it, and it means that people looking in can see the light shining out through the outline of the world. And I really like this craft. One, as I said, because it's simple, but the other reason is it reminds me of that bit from the verse in John that we heard earlier. It said both that Jesus came into our world to be with us, but also that Jesus' light shines out into the world and the darkness cannot overcome it. Now, when John was writing about that, he wasn't talking about Jesus going around carrying a torch. What he meant by Jesus' light shining out was Jesus' goodness, the good things that Jesus taught about and did, reminding us of wonderful things. And no darkness, no bad things can ever overcome that. Now, Jesus obviously has gone back up to heaven now, so I wonder how you think he might shine his light, his good things, the good things he talked about, into the dark, the bad places of our world. Well, one way he does that is through his followers, those who call themselves Christians like me. And here's our finished world. Shall we see if we can light up our world? There we go. So we can put that in our window and the light can shine through it, shining Jesus' light out into the world.
Hello, today we're going to make a mask which we can hide behind. So, first of all, the things we need to make the mask. You need some plain paper and then some different coloured paper if you've got them, coloured paper or card, or you could use a cereal box to cut around, and then crayons or felt tips or paint, some glitter. I've got some googly eyes and some little furry balls here. But if you haven't got those, you can find other things to make the features for our reindeer. So what we're going to do is first, with your piece of paper, I want you to make a handprint. When you've drawn around your hand, there we are, we'll have two of them. If you cut them out and then paint or colour them in brown for Rudolph. Now, I painted mine, so they needed a little while to dry. So whilst the paint is drying, you can prepare the mask shape. Now, to make this shape, what I did on the card was to draw, I'll show you on this one, was to draw around a mug and just overlap them very slightly. So you've got a good shape for your mask, and then you can cut that out, and when you've cut it out you need to cut some holes for your eyes, and hopefully you will end up with something like that. Now, because it's going to be Rudolph, we need to turn our handprint into Rudolph. So the fingers, that's the antlers, and I'm going to give him a red nose, so you could cut out some red paper or colour in a piece of red paper and stick it on, and then you can either draw some eyes. I've got some googly eyes here which I'm going to stick like that. And there we have Rudolph. And we're going to stick him onto the onto our mask. So I'm going to put a nice bit of glue there and stick it down, and then the same the other side. And there's one I made there. Then I'm going to decorate it with a bit more glitter. So put some glue on your mask, and let's have some bit of gold and a bit of blue glitter. There we are. And the only thing we need now is to thread some elastic through so that you can tie it on. I'm sure you'll come up with lots of other ideas for your mask. There's just another one. You could make a snowman. Oops. Have some snowman each side. maybe you could send us your pictures of what you make.
Hello, my name is Roz, and I hope you've enjoyed singing the songs today. I learnt a new one. Ooh, ah, the baby in the manger. I didn't know that one and I really enjoyed it. Now, all babies are special, but that particular baby was extra special. Anton told us, if you remember, that as he grew up, he showed us that God cares for us and wants to be kind and fair and behave like he did as he grew up to be a man. I'm a keen walker, you know, but one day I was out with my friends and the footpath took us to a narrow old railway tunnel and we had to walk through it. Oh my, when we got inside that tunnel, it was very, very dark and we couldn't even see our hands up in front of our face. All we could see was a tiny little bit of light right at the end of the tunnel where you came out into daylight again. And the only way we could walk through was to follow that little light, and it took us right outside where we were safe again. And you know, the light of Jesus is like that, a light we can follow even when it seems dark around us, to help us to do the right things and to remind us that he loves us. It's a bit like walking home with your family on a dark, frosty night when we can see all the stars above us twinkling and lighting our way home. Did you enjoy making the stars with Glynis and with Kate? Now, Glynis made hers into a calendar, didn't she? And that reminds us that God loves us all through the year, not just at Christmas time. And that's important to remember. While Kate put her lovely foil star on the top of the Christmas tree to remind us that despite all the exciting parcels underneath the tree, which we all like to prod and poke and wonder what's in them, what we should remember is to follow the light of Jesus, like the wise men who followed that very special star which led them to the manger. And then did you make Anton's globe, which showed us how the light of Jesus is not just for us, but for the whole world. So, I hope you've enjoyed your time with us and you pinned up your stars and worn your masks. But most of all, I hope you felt the light and the warmth of the love of Jesus in your life, and that this Christmas you will share it with all your family and all the friends that you meet. Happy Christmas from Anton and Glynis and Kate and me.
Thank you for joining us today at Messy Christmas. We hope you've had some fun with some of the craft and challenges we've had for you today. Now, did you spot the kings? Remember, in all of our Christmas and Advent videos, the kings are on a journey, so you'll find them somewhere in each of the videos. So if you haven't watched some of our other videos, why not go and take a look, see if you can spot the kings on their journey. Until we meet again, take care and have a lovely Christmas. God bless.